What's up guys, welcome back to the video. It's so great to see all of you and your smiling faces because today I will be sharing my workflow when editing videos specifically for YouTube. I will not only be sharing the step-by-step process when editing my videos, I will be also sharing some tips to help you in your own editing workflow as well. With that being said, let's get on with the video. The first step that I do is to organize my files. In this part, I usually select the destination where I want to save the project and the files needed. To keep things organized, I usually create subfolders depending on which type of file it is. If I'll be needing some music and sound effects, I'll be creating an audio folder. If I'll be needing miscellaneous files or PNGs, animations, stuff like that, I'll be making a miscellaneous folder. This will help me prevent mixing all of the different files and just to have a nice overall starting workflow when you edit your video. After I organize all my files and select the specific destination where I want to save my project, this is when I proceed to the second step, which is to do some rough editing, basically sequencing of the entire video. In this step, this is where I actually do my preliminary editing to check if I have missed or have forgotten to record a certain type of sequence, at the same time creating a general idea of the flow on the entire video. The third step that I do is sound, specifically mixing all of the clips to have a equalized volume all throughout the entire video. This will help minimize the low parts being too soft where you cannot hear, or the high parts of the video wherein sometimes it's too loud, and just mixing everything to have one equalized, normalized volume. Right after sound, I proceed to color grading, and personally one of my favorite parts in the entire editing workflow. This is where I specify and enhance video colors in the video itself to create an aesthetic and balanced look in my entire video. In this shot right here, this is basically how my video looks like straight out of the camera, no color grading applied. I usually add more contrast and specific colors that I want to eliminate or add in the frame to create this aesthetic looking nice, well-balanced contrast shot. Once that I have enhanced all the colors throughout the entire video to create a uniform and aesthetic, video output, I proceed to the next step, which is adding B-roll. For example, I'm talking to you about how Gregg is sitting in his laptop and checking the web for stuff. It's way better to actually show a representation of myself checking out things on the internet rather than explaining it to you, because it creates this audience retention. It's not just one boring frame all throughout the entire video, it's also having a different mix of frames to keep the video moving and going. After adding B-roll to the specific sequences that I feel like needs, those B-roll or those video clips, that's when I move to the next step, which is adding titles and text animations. Adding titles and text animations help distinguish the different sequences and the different parts in the entire video. For example, in the intro, that's where I added my intro text. You can tell that, okay, in this part of the video, this is the intro. So on and so forth. Proceeding to this step, I've added more text just to be able to separate the different sequences throughout the entire video. Second to the last thing that I do is to add sound effects and music. Personally, I usually add supplementary sound effects and sound elements to the video just to keep everything lively and interesting. I want my audience retention to go all the way up, so what I do is to add different elements in the entire video, sound elements, just to keep things lively, interesting, and something that you would always want to, kind of like look at, kind of like hear at the same time, because it gets the vibe going, it gets people going, gets people moving, it makes you happy, makes me happy, makes the entire channel happy. Yeah. Now we go down to the last step of my entire workflow, which is to review the video sequence by sequence and as a whole. I usually check if there are certain parts of the video where I want to edit, where I want to change, or if there are certain parts of the video that I want to remove actually. And for example, I don't think this part is kind of like good here, I can take that out. The color here seems kind of off, the audio here seems kind of off, the music here does not fit the vibe. This is where I actually go and revert to the previous steps if ever I want to feel like changing something. Like what I said in the beginning of this video, this workflow is specifically for editing, personally editing my YouTube videos. If I'm going to be editing a short film or a documentary, something like that, definitely the steps that I've mentioned above will change. It can work, but then there are some things that I can change or some things that I can do first or last, rearrange the steps depending on the type of field that I do. But then it's up to you. Hopefully explaining my workflow will help you in your workflow as well. If there are certain things you want to change, if there are certain things you want to remove, it's up to you. Just enjoy always. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you like this video. Comment down below if you want to see more content. Subscribe, it's free if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next time. G out.